This is part 1 of lecture number 5. In this part, we will cover classes. So, first, I will open PyCharm. I will click on Open. I will go to my desktop directory and I will navigate to the folder where I have downloaded the project files. So, I will open lecture 5 and open. This part will cover classes. So, the file that I will open is lecture 5 class. In order to check everything is working fine, I will simply click on the play button. So I will see the output in the console tab. So what are classes? Python is an object-oriented programming language. Almost everything in Python is an object with its properties and methods. A class is like an object constructor or a blueprint for creating objects. Classes serve two purposes. First, if we want to group different functions, variables together, we can use classes. For example, string is a class. When we create a string, it not only stores the string characters, but it also enables different functions for that string. For example, we use the function split, we use the function replace. So these functions are connected to any string variable when we create a new string variable. The variable is known as object. So the second purpose of a class is to create a blueprint using which we can create objects. Let me explain with the code. I am setting breakpoint on line number 6, 9 and 10 and I will start debugging. You can see that at line number 6 I am creating class my class, and in that class I am creating a variable x is equal to 5. So on line number 9 I am creating an object p1 from that class my class. So click when I go to line number 10, you can see that computer has created an object of p1, and on line number 10 I'm printing the variable existing inside this object. So I'm printing p1.x. So you can see that on console I get 5 as a printout. On line number 14 I'm creating a new class person. This class has two public variables, name and age, and a constructor function. A constructor function is a function that is called when an object is created. So we are creating a function def in it. In it represent the constructor function. Self is used to identify the class itself. Name is a variable that we will take input from the user when an object is created. Similarly, age is a variable that we will take input from a user when the object is created. So I am assigning these, so I am assigning the input values to the values of the class variables that are name and age. So in order to refer to the class itself or the object itself, we use self as a keyword. So moving on, in this class I have two public variables and a constructor function. Now you can see on line number 21, I am creating an object p1, and I'm giving the name of the class person. While giving the name of the class, I am giving input John, 36. So John will be the name of the person and 36 will be the age. So when I go to line number 22, I see that John is printed, and on line number 23, I see that age is printed. Now the question is, what is the difference between the class person and class my class? In class my class, I just had one variable, that is public variable x is equal to 5. So while creating the object, I did not give any input because there was no constructor function defined for that class. Whereas the class person contains two public variables and also a constructor function that we can call when we create a new object. Now again, I am going to define a class person. Here I have the same public variables name and age. I have a constructor function same as before, but I'm adding a new function, my function, and in this function I'm printing hello, my name is self name. So let's see, on line number 36 I'm creating the object person p1. I have input the name of the person John and the age 36, and now I'm calling the function that is defined inside that class. So my function will be called. It is important to give self input to each functions that are defined in a class. This is important because if I want to access the internal values of the object, I have to call it using self dot that object or self dot that function. So when I call p1 dot my function, you can see that hello, my name is John is printed. Finally, I am deleting p1. What this will do is that it will remove the element or the object from the memory. This concludes our lecture.